is getting to the national championship against Duke. That is my prediction. I think it'll be a good March Madness this year because I think everybody wants to watch that Duke kid, Zion Williamson. I saw him play this weekend. He's crazy. He doesn't even look like a college kid. And then Michigan's the best coach team in college basketball. By the way, cold and flu season, try Vicks Sinex nasal spray. Works up to 12 hours. Use as directed. All right, he's my friend, Chris Haynes. He's a senior NBA insider for Yahoo Sports. Started bringing him on a couple years ago. Started reading you a couple years ago.
Okay.
Said, got to get this guy on the show. So let's start with this. I'm going to throw my theory out.
Okay.
That LeBron James gets hurt, and they diffuse it day to day. Not a big deal. They don't talk about it. But this is the NFL's or NBA's Iron Man. It's now 14 games. It's now 30 days, and he's still not ready. I believe it is a smart move by LeBron's people to diffuse it. LeBron's rock solid. There's no injuries. I swear, people, it's a toenail. So let's first address that because I think to be a more attractive team and franchise to get free agents, you do not want to have LeBron, this is a major injury. You talk to Rich Paul, part of the Clutch Sports Group, represents LeBron. What are they saying?
Well, he said this injury was always a 4 to 6 week period. And today actually happens to be the 4 week period.
Yeah.
So if you're looking at it from that standpoint, this could potentially be another 2 weeks. Now, obviously, I don't think it's going to get to that point.
But if he misses 17 games, this is the first major injury for LeBron James.
It is, but they've also cautioned, Rich Paul, that this is, everything is precautionary. And, LeBron wanted to get back into that game on Christmas Day when he did get injured. Obviously, that was the adrenaline talking at that point. But, they said they will not rush him back. They will make sure he is close to 100% as possible. There's absolutely no reason to get him out there too prematurely. And so they're going to take the easy approach. But this is, it's
a real thing.
It is. This is an extended. We've never seen this from LeBron James.
Yeah, and for the record, I'm not questioning LeBron's want. I know LeBron wants to play. That's not it. What I'm saying is there is a reason that most of the time during this injury, it's been played down. Like it's precautionary. I heard 2 different reports. If it was a playoff game, he'd play. I was told that was a bunch of baloney. He can't play. He hasn't had contact yet in practice, and it's more serious. Here's the other issue. Chris Haynes joining us. Is that we all know the story behind the story. Anthony Davis.
Yes.
Anthony Davis is in a losing franchise. Great player. We all know that. Anthony Davis is represented by Clutch Sports that represents LeBron.
Oh, he is?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Breaking news on that. Okay. So in order to get him, instead of waiting a year and a half, you'd have to trade for him.
Yes.
The Celtics are also interested. Celtics have a lot of parts. When the season started, Lonzo Ball and Brandon Ingram were real assets. Ingram's been the biggest disappointment, and Lonzo Ball is now, and this is not deniable, he's injury prone. So you have 2 assets now that New Orleans would probably say, not real assets.
Yeah.
Boston still has all their assets. So what do you make? I thought the Lonzo Ball injury was a real bit of bad news for the Lakers because now we have a narrative, Chris, in this league is dude can't stay healthy.
Yeah.
6-week injury.
Yeah, I didn't think it was that severe. Obviously, it was a nasty sprain, but I didn't think he would be out this extended amount of time. But, you look at the Lakers' standpoint, they still have young assets. Brandon Ingram is still a young guy, Lonzo Ball. So I don't want to say their stock has dropped tremendously. But I will say this. As it pertains to Anthony Davis and pursuing him, it would have to be on Anthony Davis' part first to first request a trade out. And then once it gets to that point, that's when we get the ball moving. Because Los Angeles Lakers, they probably reached out to New Orleans already. New Orleans like, man, we're not making a move right now. They got the Supermax deal that they can offer him over the summer. Then if it gets to that point where AD says, look, I'm passing up on this 240 plus mil. Then New Orleans had to say, all right, we got to. By
the way, of course they want to keep him as long as they can. He's good for attendance.
Yeah,
he's good for marketing. New Orleans they want this thing to go as long as they can to keep him in town and convince him.
But it's on AD's part first. He has to be the one to make the dominoes move and say I want out. And I don't think if it does get to that point, I think that point is over the summer.
Okay, so I want to be very careful here. People think, Joy, I have been marginalized as anti-Westbrook, and I do.
Oh, very unfair.
Uh-oh.
Okay, I just want to throw this out there. Westbrook, by the way, the Thunder played very well last night. Very efficient. The highest plus-minus in the game was on Westbrook. Why? He didn't shoot. 6 of 12. OKC just went through their worst stretch of the year, 1-5. He averaged 24 shots a night. Can we now, Zach Lowe is admitting it today. I got to give Zach Lowe some, you know Zach Lowe.
I know Zach Lowe.
I don't know Zach, but I know of his work.
Yes.
He acknowledges today, which few will, Westbrook's shot's broken. Layups are hurried. Can't hit free throws. Three-pointers are a disaster. Mid-range is gone. The dude's broken. OKC, when he takes less than 19 shots, 13-2. Under 500 more. This is a real thing. Like, I've never seen this in my life, Chris. A MVP 2 years later, it has gone completely sideways. Can't play. I mean, what do you make of what's happened?
Well, he had surgery to start the season.
Right.
He's not attributed to that, of course. He wouldn't do that. But look, he hasn't been at full Westbrook form all this season. That's for sure. But what has helped them is the emergence, and I know you like that guy, Paul George.
No, Paul's been great. Paul's their go-to guy now.
He's their go-to guy out of the Fresno State University. Let me throw that out there, Kyle.
Did you go to Fresno State?
I went to Fresno State.
During Tarks?
No,
Okay.
I'm not that old.
All right.
But that's my hometown. But no, he's playing at an MVP caliber level, and that is why Westbrook hasn't been getting a lot of attention for his bad play, because Paul George has been stepping. I mean, look, take the game the other night. Paul George hits the game winner.
Yeah, no. Westbrook fouled out.
Yeah,
Paul George,
exactly.
Paul George stepped up. No, it is an interesting thing. I don't want to be framed as anti-Westbrook, though. I have never seen, he's shooting 64% free throws. I've never seen in my life a player go from MVP to literally cannot shoot. His free throw percentage has gone 83, 74, 64. That's unheard of.
Well, I mean, we kind of seen it not at this level, but Markelle Fultz.
Well, yeah, but he was never great.
Yeah, well, yeah.
I mean,
at a different level, he was
high school and college. Yes,
correct. But yeah, this is rare. We haven't seen this.
All right, and finally, listen, the Warriors are a dynasty, best offensive team I've ever seen. So they bring in Boogie Cousins. They acquire him. He has to get healthy. They bring him in. Now, he's not in great game shape. In fact, talked to a source last night. I said, what do you make? They said he's not in game shape. But from setting screens to getting rebounds to being intimidated, can I just throw this out there? That if he keeps it straight personality-wise, because he's always been a little tougher in the room,
yes,
this is going to be the best version of Golden State.
I think it has the potential to be so. I'm curious with the small ball lineups that teams are throwing out there. I'm curious to see if he'll be able to play with those lineups. The best lineup still might be when they move Draymond to the center and Iguodala.
Right, their small ball depth lineup.
But I don't know. But look, I would tell you this, Colin. If they remain healthy, Cousins is going to get to form. He looked pretty good in his debut.
He did.
So if he gets to form, close to form, all-star form, I don't see any team in the Western Conference that can give them a battle. In fact, if they are healthy throughout, Golden State will sweep through the Western Conference.
I totally agree with you. Listen, I've always bristled at the comparisons of greatest all time because Jordan's Bulls played in a different era. It was a much more physical game. It was a much more daunting game to play. Michael Jordan could hand check. He was hand check. He was knocked to the floor. But I will tell you this. If DeMarcus Cousins, from what I saw in the opener, if he's healthy, then they've got their tour de force big man. This is going to be the best version of Golden State. And in my opinion, probably the best team in league history.
I mean, look, they will be up there. It'll surely be up for debate. And I think, like I said, I'll probably get killed for saying that going through the Western Conference field. But if you look at the landscape of the Western Conference, like, who really can go out there and give them a legitimate threat?
Well, nobody can beat them over a series. What you're saying is, and I don't think you're wrong, when you add the physical component and size and talent of Boogie Cousins, and the other thing is, he is a great screen setter.
Yep.
Clay off a screen, Steph off a screen. I mean, you don't want Durant off a screen. You don't want any part of this team.
And for the first time in a while, I think Golden State's true threat, assuming they get there, their truest threat is in the East.
I agree with you.
It's in the East for the first time in a while.
Yeah. And for the record, Boston's now, Kyrie now playing really well.
Yeah.
It's taken him a while. You got Kyrie back. You had different personalities. The star is back with the emerging young players. Boston looks like, I know Milwaukee, I know Toronto, but I did say before the season I thought Boston could beat Golden State. I did over a 7-game series because I thought Boston would have home court advantage in the weaker East.
Okay.
But I think if this Boogie Cousins thing works, Golden State's going to lose about 4 games the rest of the way.
No, they look serious. And you sleeping on Toronto, it sounds like, over there.
Come on.
I can't do that, Colin. I can't do that.
The baby dinosaur, LeBron, extinction.
He's not in the East anymore.
He's not in the East. That's a new team. Kawhi's over there, Colin. Come on, give us some respect. Give Canada some love.
Canada has wonderful people. But in April and May, they do not advance in the playoffs. It's a wonderful country. I went there this summer. I love Canada. I just don't love them in the NBA playoffs.
I don't know if you're going back anymore, man.
All right, Chris. Great seeing you, bud.
Thanks, my guy.
Enjoy with the news.
No. Turn on the news. This is the Herd Line News.
I keep telling you the baby dinosaurs are different teams.
I know.
Here.
Yeah, I keep everybody. Listen, at some point, there are franchises like the Chargers. And everybody liked the Chargers, but you and I were like, they're going to go to New England, and this is not going to work. And
they're still the Chargers, though.
Certain franchises shrink, and they get to big games, and they just and then certain franchises, Kansas City, by the way, in the NFL, Cincinnati in the NFL, Chargers, they tend to just shrink a little.
Kansas City has Patrick Mahomes now, and the Raptors have Kawhi.